Hey, young man. My wife is dying. Please save her.
Midnight, a man-sized weasel lay by my bed. Lu Chuan, a former top hospital surgeon, was terrified, wanting to hide under covers, and scream for help. I stared at his pitiful beady eyes, and said tremblingly, "Hey, man, I use a scalpel for surgery, not delivering babies. You've got the wrong person. This weasel's Huang Ta. He's anxious, keeps kowtowing.
The villagers all say you're capable. Please save my wife and kids. I'll do anything to repay you."
Looking at his tearful face, I recalled the recent accident. Half a month ago, when that boy died on my operating table, his family begged me the same way. Since then, my hands tremble uncontrollably whenever I touch a scalpel. I hardened my heart and said to Huang Ta, "I am no longer a doctor, you can leave now." I drove Huang Ta out, and it went silent. After I closed the door, I sat on the edge of the bed, my mind full of the patient's family's curses. Staying up all night felt terrible. If no one steps in, those lives will be lost for good. As soon as this thought popped up, I still could not hold back and opened the door again. Huang Ta hasn't left. He's lying dejectedly at the door. When he saw me come out, his eyes lit up right away. "Hurry up, carry your wife to my yard." My small forest yard is a typical northern folk residence. The room smelled of disinfectant and old wood. I spread a clean sterile cloth on the table, using it as a temporary consulting room. When Huang Ta rushed in carrying his wife on his back, the female weasel has a swollen belly, she's too weak to cry, and shivers from pain. I was extremely flustered, but my doctor's instinct made me calm down. I took out my old surgical kit, and disinfected her belly fur. I called my former roommate who worked in the obstetrics and gynecology department. He answered the phone in a daze. I quickly explained the situation to him. With his remote guidance, I'm finally more confident. "Listen, I need to operate on your wife. Her survival's up to fate." I took a deep breath and held the scalpel. Under the dim light, my hands trembled again disappointingly. At that moment, I felt I was back on the operating table. Half a month ago, I gritted my teeth, steadied my hand and sliced the cortex. Strangely enough, wispy black gas actually came out of the cut. I had no time for this. I stared at the bleeding point, and forced myself to hold the scalpel steady. I operated quickly and smoothly. After only a few minutes, a few wet little guys slid into the basin. With a small squeak, Huang Ta's wife finally caught her breath, and cried weakly. 3 chubby babies were born, welcoming the first ray of dawn outside. Mother and babies are safe and sound. Huang Ta cried with joy, busy licking his wife and kids' fur. I took off my bloodied gloves, and looked at my hands that had finally stopped trembling. The heavy stone weighing on my heart for half a month finally loosens now. I walk to the balcony, watch the sun rise, and call my old classmate. Mother and babies are safe. I seem able to hold a scalpel again.
Do you really plan to stay in that remote mountain village for the rest of your life?
I looked at the unwashed blood between my fingers, and said nothing.
Xiaochuan, saving lives is a doctor's duty, but sometimes, fate's something we can't control. After that incident, I'm worried in our line of work. We see life and death every day. You can't only accept life and reject death. Everyone has their own fate.
I know.
Then do you plan to come back?
I watched the last dawn glow in the sky, and fell silent before I knew it.
Hey, I was just asking. Honestly, I want to quit this job too. I don't know what bad luck we have this year. There are way too many pregnant women in line.
After hanging up, I looked at the sun and went back inside. Huang Ta's wife still recovering. In the temporary nest I built, I spread hay in the yard corner and sprinkled disinfectant powder. Let their family of 5 stay there temporarily. 2 days later, after dawn, Grandma yells at the door. She pointed at the warm pheasant by the door, and asked me curiously,
"Where'd this pheasant come from?"
I glanced along the courtyard wall base. Sure enough, I saw a small head poking out behind the millstone. Huang Ta stares at me eagerly with his beady eyes. Maybe someone delivered it to the wrong house when visiting relatives. Grandma looked at me, amused.
"Who'd leave a gift at the front door unclaimed?"
Every time I open the door, a pheasant lies there. 3 days of pheasant. Even my burps smell like chicken. I couldn't stand it anymore. I stopped Huang Ta and told him not to send chickens anymore. Huang Ta tilts his head. He seems to get what I said. The next day, the bloody game at the door was gone. There was a small pile of bright red wild fruits, with dew still on.
"Oh dear, my dear grandson, that's the yellow immortal, right? I saw him a couple of days ago. These things must be the accommodation fee he's paying us."
You know what? These little creatures are smart. Of course they are smart. He not only covers room and board, but can also speak our language. In the following days, Huang Ta worked dawn to dusk every day, and sent various gifts, from wild fruits and yams to unknown herbs. Huang Ta's wife's wound healed quick. One evening, Huang Ta brought his family to say goodbye to me, saying they're returning to the back mountain woods. Once I send these extra patients off, my life's finally back to normal. But this peaceful life only lasted a few days. One dark, windy late night, that familiar knock sounded again. I thought it was Huang Ta bringing gifts again, so I went to open the door helplessly. I already told you I don't charge for accommodation. I wasn't done speaking. I suddenly went speechless. It wasn't Huang Ta at the door, but a furry bright red wall. It was a giant 2-meter-tall creature. Its fur glowed dark red in the moonlight. Its bright green eyes looked like small night lights, and I shivered the moment I saw it. Its huge shadow covered my whole body. The pressure was so heavy. I almost knelt down on the spot. I stood still, screaming for help in my mind. This thing could swallow 3 of me in one bite. The huge monster spoke first.
You are the miracle doctor who saved the Huang family.
I trembled and did not dare to reply.
He is mute.
The monster lowered its head, and its gaze. Following his gaze, I saw a tiny shivering thing pinned under his huge paw. I looked closer. It was Huang Ta he left just days ago. I managed to find my voice a little. Do you need something from me? The monster didn't answer. It opened its bloody mouth, showing 2 rows of sharp fangs. My heart almost stopped. Oh no, it's going to eat me. Before I could scream, my feet lifted off the ground. I was tossed onto its back like a little chick. It also stuffed the dazed Huang Ta into its thick red fur.
Hold on tight.
Right after that, the red-furred monster moved fast, rushing straight into the back hill woods with me. The mountain wind was cold, stinging my face. My limbs were numb. I could only grip its red fur. I lay on its back and asked Huang Ta beside me, voice trembling, what happened. Huang Ta was also confused. He curled into a ball and answered quietly.
Chiyu rushed into my house looking for me. He asked me to take him to you, saying it's urgent.
Chi-Chiu, this red-furred fox is called Chi-Chiu. As we ran, we passed an abandoned temple on the... No one goes there anymore. Half its walls collapsed. Under the pale moonlight, I spotted a headless god statue on the shrine. The statue's clay head fell to the ground, at an unknown time. It's on its side now. Its empty eyes stare at the direction we left. I was so scared that my heart was pounding wildly. I'm on Chi-Chiu's broad back, jostling in his red fur as he runs. Cold wind was blowing right down my collar. I felt my bones would shake apart, from running so fast. I had no idea how long we had been running. Chi-Chiu finally slowed down his steps. The stench of dead branches and rotten leaves around is gone. A faint cool fragrance takes its place. It smelled like expensive agarwood, and wild mountain grass. Pairs of green eyes lit up in the dark, like ghost fires. Lots of quiet whispers came along with these eyes.
Why did Chi-Chiu bring a biped back here? This human looks soft and tender. He must taste good. Is Chi-Chiu crazy? How dare he bring an outsider into the Holy Land?
My heart skipped a beat all of a sudden. Did he just bring me straight to the... Lu Chuan, you're screwed. You didn't come to save people this time. You came to hand yourself over like takeout. Chi-Chiu ignored those comments, carried me on his back, and kept walking. He only bent down to let me off. When we stopped before a huge cave, and spoke inside in a deep voice.
Mother, I have found the person who can save elder brother.
Several differently colored foxes slowly emerged from the cave depths. The leading one was sturdier, and larger than Chi-Chiu, exuding inviolable majesty. What shocked me most was her 3 long fluffy tails, swaying slightly in the air. The oppressive force was so strong, my calves trembled non-stop. This is Chi-Chiu's mother, and the most authoritative person on this mountain. Ching-Chiu was surrounded by this large group of foxes. My long-gone fear of huge creatures broke out. Ching-Chiu stared at me unblinkingly, with her bright green eyes, silent as a stone statue. The cold sweat on my back dried and got wet again and again. The surrounding foxes erupted instantly, arguing.
Big Brother's hurt real bad. No human can cure him. I say we eat her while she's still fresh.
This is a fierce fox with fiery red fur. Chi-Chiu calls him second brother.
What if he's curable? That Huang boy said this guy's got real skills, didn't he?
This is another gray fox that looks more steady and mature. The 2 sides are arguing fiercely. No one cares if I live or die.
You know nothing at all.
You are the one who knows nothing at all.
I'm complaining like crazy in my head. Guys, can you just make a clear decision? Are you going to braise me or stew me? Stop holding this stupid end-of-life care debate here. When my brain's about to overheat and crash, the quiet Ching-Chiu finally speaks. His voice is deep and elegant, but carries a leader's unique deterrence.
Human, lift your head.
I lift my chin stiffly, and meet those deep green, ice-cold eyes.
Huang Ta said. You cut open his wife's belly and saved her cubs. Is that right?
I nodded. My throat was too dry to speak. Ching-Chiu asked slowly.
You used your human's method, didn't you?
I kept nodding, like a sewing machine. Ching-Chiu fell silent. His fox head drooped. Weighing pros and cons, the air froze. It was oppressive. People could barely breathe. Seeing Ching-Chiu hesitate, the second guy let out an impatient grunt, his drool almost dripping onto my shoe.
Brother, can you restrain yourself? You're from the fox immortal lineage. Mind your manners.
Lao Chiu, take him in.
Ching-Chiu finally spoke. Chi-Chiu obviously breathed a sigh of relief. The second got upset and screamed.
Mother, do you really trust this human? What if he messes with something in the operating room?
Qing Qiu glanced at him coldly.
Second one, if your brain was half as big as your drool, you'd have turned human long ago.
The second one fell silent, huddled aggrievedly in the corner playing with his tail. I followed Qiu into the cave. Mr. Huang scrambled at my feet.
Don't be scared, healer. Qing Ai and his group are reasonable.
To them you're the divine healer if you cure the patient. You're their appetizer if you fail. I walked into the cave. The sight inside gave me a huge shock. The cave isn't dark at all. The stone walls are covered with fluorescent moss, lighting the space as bright as daytime. There's a weird smell in the air. Beast stench mixes with expensive agarwood scent. The deeper I went in, the stronger the smell of blood and rot grew. In the most spacious stone chamber deep inside, I met their leader, Pai Yan. It was a huge white fox, lying weakly on the stone bed, barely breathing. Its snow-white, silk-like fur was messed up, stained with dark dried blood. The scariest part, one of its front legs twisted, at a weird unnatural angle, and the wound was deep, bone visible. What was even weirder, black smoke kept coming from the wound. This is dark evil aura. I only took one look. My professional instinct beat my fear. I frowned.
Big brother.
Qiu rushed over, and rubbed Pai Yan's nose tip. Pai Yan barely opened its golden. He exhaled weakly. Not even a whimper escaped. I stepped forward and squatted. I checked the wound. Second brother jumped out again, bared his teeth and stopped me.
What do you want? Stay away from my brother.
I ignored him, and stared straight at Qiu. I need to check the wound closely, or I can't tell if he'll survive. Qiu growled at the second brother. The second brother moved aside reluctantly then. He stared at me like I was a quack who'd kill for money. I put on the last pair of sterile gloves from the kit. I gently brushed away the sticky fur around Pai Chen's wound. In that instant, an icy aura shot up my fingertips to my head, making me shiver. In the center of the bone-deep wound, there was a shiny black millstone-sized scale, with razor-sharp edges. The surrounding muscle tissue was fully dead and turned black. It's rotting and spreading outward, as black smoke's drifting out. What hurt him? My voice was trembling a little, not out of fear, but shock from this bizarre wound. Qiu's eyes blazed with anger.
That's the vicious Eagle King from Black Rock Cliff. He ambushed my brother with that
I get it. This isn't a regular laceration. It's a compound wound. Contaminated by dark evil energy on the scales, the wound can't heal on its own. Instead, it's eating away his life force like acid. The situation's far worse than I expected. I took a deep breath and spoke plainly. The toxin and dark evil energy are already spreading. If we delay another half hour, not only will he lose his leg, he'll definitely die. The atmosphere in the grotto dropped to freezing point in an instant. Dozens of pairs of fox eyes all stared at me at the same time. Qiu walked up behind me at some point. A huge shadow fell over me.
How sure are you?
My mind was racing. Debride the necrotic tissue, eliminate the dark evil energy, modern medical logic, remove the pollution source, combine with spiritual energy purification. There's a chance. But the problem is, I'm not dealing with a regular patient, and my damn hands were shaking again. I clenched my fist, trying to keep my voice steady. I need to operate, pull out the scales, and cut off the rotten flesh. The risk is high. I don't have anesthetic for his size. He has to tough, and I need clean hot water, hemostatic herbs, and the sharpest knife.
I can give you everything you asked for.
Qiu stared at me. His gaze seemed to pierce through my soul. He did not continue speaking, but I knew the foxes outside had lined up, waiting for lunch. I let out a bitter laugh. If I mess up, I won't walk out of this cave alive. I looked at Pai Yan on the stone bed. He was looking right back at me. His golden eyes held no fear of death. Instead, they held strange calm and trust in my hands. That look, the 25-year-old man who died on my operating table, looked at me the exact same way at the end. He trusted me with his life, full of hope, but I failed to save him. Stop joking, Lu Chuan. You're here to save a life, not wait to die. I lifted my head. My gaze was colder than it had ever been before. Get the supplies ready. The foxes are incredibly efficient. Qiu led others to set up a huge stone pot, filled it with mountain spring water, and boiled it till it bubbled. A few nimble foxes brought a pile of polished thin stone flakes in their mouths. Those stone flakes are made of special material. Their edges glint cold. They're no worse than my scalpel. I threw the stone flakes and tweezers into boiling water, boiled them repeatedly. As lead surgeon, I looked at Qiu. You and the others hold him down. Never let him move. Otherwise, once I make the cut, he'll be beyond saving. Qiu nodded, pressing his body on Pai Yan's waist and abdomen. Several other foxes held down Pai Yan's limbs separately. Pai Yan, this will hurt a lot. Hold on. Pai Yan closed his eyes slightly as a response. When I picked up that scalding stone flake and touched skin, my hands started shaking again. Auditory hallucinations flooded in.
Quack, give my son's life back. You don't deserve that white coat.
My vision blurred. The white fox's blood seemed to turn into the unstoppable red blood on the operating table.
Dr. Shen, Dr. Shen.
Huang Ta's anxious voice rang in my ears. He somehow found a calming herb with faint green glow and held it under my nose. A bone-chilling scent rushed into my lungs. Like ice water poured over my head, dispersing those nightmarish noises. I came back to my senses. I looked again into White Eye's quiet, waiting golden eyes. He didn't speak, but he waited for me. Grandma once said I'm born for this job. If I stay calm, my hands won't shake. Why should I doubt myself? I closed my eyes. I pushed all fear and guilt. Deep down, when I opened my eyes again, the world was clear. My hands finally steadied. It's time to start. I lifted the knife and brought it down swiftly. I cut open the fibrotic rotten flesh layer, neatly and quickly. White Eye let out a low, suppressed muffled groan, and his whole body spasmed. Chi-Chiu and the others held down his paws, leaving deep scratch marks on the ground. Dark purple blood mixed with black smoke gushed out. I didn't hesitate at all. My focus was sharper than ever. Sweat beads rolled down my nose. Huang Ta is quickly wiping sweat off me with a dry cloth beside me. Finally, my stone chip hits that hard foreign object. Got it. I used 2 long stone chips as tweezers, probed deep into the wound, and gripped the edge of that black scale. That scale seems alive, trembling in Pai Yan's flesh. Hold him down tight, all of you. Hold him down tight, I roar. Use all my strength, and yank it up. A tearing sound. I yank out a palm-sized evil black scale. The moment the scale leaves the body, a thick purplish dark vapor gushes out, fades under the fluorescent moss's light. I dare not stop. Immediately pick up the boiled herbal water to wash the wound. I use a small stone chip to scrape off the remaining rotten flesh. Not until the blood from my wound turns from dark purple to bright red do I feel air fill my lungs again. I shout, water. Give him water. Pai Yan's breathing is weak. It's a pre-shock sign from blood loss and severe pain. The most critical step is coming stitching up the wound. This wound's too big. Ointment alone won't work. But I don't have a suture needle that fits a fox's skin. I was so anxious I broke out in a head sweat, and my palms broke out in cold sweat unconsciously. Just then, Qing Chiu, who had been standing beside me, walked over. One of his tails suddenly glowed faintly silver. Then, an extremely thin silver hair fell out on its own, and fluttered briefly in the air. It turned into a suture needle, with a glowing silver thread.
Use this.
Qing Chiu's voice carried a faint trace of weakness. I froze. How much cultivation did he spend to get this? This 3-tailed fox is betting his whole life on me, to save his son. I did not hesitate. I took the silver needle that was as warm and smooth as jade. This is the most incredible suture I've ever done in my career. The tip of the needle gently passed through Pai Yan's skin. The silver thread weaved between the wounds. It seemed to carry some kind of healing melody. I sutured slowly and carefully, and each stitch was evenly spaced. When the last knot was tied, I collapsed on the ground out of strength, gasping for air. Feeling my soul, the operation was a success. I watched Pai Yan fall into a deep sleep on the stone bed. His breathing's faint but steady now, and his once blue nose has a hint of color. He survived. The cave was dead silent. Hundreds of foxes stayed put, staring in stunned silence. The next second, Chi-Chiu walked over, lowered his big head, and gently nuzzled my cheek. His fluffy fur carried a fresh mountain scent, and it felt warm. Then the second in command showed up. This guy, who tried to eat me earlier, comes over dejectedly, bows his head, like he's apologizing for his recklessness. Then all the cave foxes bowed to me together. A silent gratitude, heavy as a mountain. I sat on the cold ground, staring at the blood on my hands, and the faintly glowing silver needle. I burst out laughing suddenly. As I laughed, tears fell uncontrollably. I saved him. Lu Chuan, you're still a doctor. You can still save people. No, you can even save lives. I stayed in the Fox Fairy Cave for 3 days, and those 3 days were way more comfortable than working as an attending physician in the city. When I was thirsty, the foxes brought me fresh morning dew. When I was hungry, there were roasted pheasants with sizzling, dripping grease. There were also wild fruits I couldn't name. They were crispy, sweet, and juicy. I slept on thick hay, with unbelievably soft fur on top. It felt soft when I lay down. So comfortable. I thought, this isn't suffering. This is an animal version of the presidential suite. White Eye's physical fitness is ridiculously strong. On the third morning, his leg, once cut deep to the bone, could already touch the ground and move. His snow-white fur regained its luster. Except for the thin silver suture mark, you can barely tell he hovered on death's brink repeatedly days ago. He walked right up to me. All past pain left his golden pupils, replaced by gentle gratitude. Thank you, human miracle doctor. White Eye spoke. His voice was clear and nice, like mountain spring water. I was sorting my medical kit, head down, and replied without looking up. You're welcome, It's just a doc. After I said this, I was stunned first. After I quit my job and returned to the village, I thought I'd never mention doctor duties in my life, but I said it smoothly just now. Ching Chiu was also much more polite to me, and no longer looked at me like he'd eat me as a snack anytime. He said they're a clan from Ching Chiu Mountains, and guard this forest for centuries. The Eagle King of Black Rock Cliffs their sworn enemy. He's always wanted to seize this territory. I was stunned while listening. I'd stepped into a whole new world, but also became a live audience of strange tales from a Chinese studio. Before I left, Ching Chiu stopped me and gave me a fiery red leaf. Faint light flowed in its veins, like a cluster of fire that won't burn.
This is Qi Yan Sao. It neutralizes all poisons and wards off evil spirits.
I was just about to decline. Ching Chiu stared at me intently, his bright green eyes locked on me.
Take it, Lu Chuan. You have pure spiritual energy, which attracts unclean things you shouldn't provoke in the wild. Keep it to save.
My heart skipped a beat. Pure spiritual energy. How did I not know I have this kind of mystical physique? Before I could ask for more, Ching Chiu turned and walked deep into the cave, leaving only a cool faint agarwood scent behind. Chi Chiu volunteered to take me home. The 2-meter-plus giant red fox walked beside me. Its strong oppressive vibe made forest boars detour to avoid him. When we almost reached the old locust tree at the village entrance, Chi Chiu stopped in his tracks.
If you need to find me later, just call my name 3 times towards this tree. I'll hear you.
I nodded, looking at his big fluffy head. I couldn't help reaching out to touch it. It felt really nice. Chi Chiu flicked his tail in a silly way. He thought for a moment and added,
My oldest brother's Pai Yin. My second brother's Chi You can call my mom Aunt Ching.
The corner of my mouth twitched. Your way of naming people is way too casual. Chi Chiu didn't get my dry joke. He just bared his teeth and grinned. When I returned to my small yard in the woods, dawn was just breaking. Grandma pushes open the door to get tools from storage. She looks up and freezes right on.
That is really quite an impressive spread.
Grandma squinted, and there was no panic in her tone. I almost sat straight down on the ground. Goodness, the small yard was clean yesterday. Is almost a wild mountain product wholesale market now. 3 wild pheasants are piled by the wall base, along with a wild boar hind leg weighing at least dozens of pounds, and 2 processed bundles of rare medicinal herbs. Next to the millstones a basket of fresh, juicy spirit fruits. They're bright red and shiny, and you can smell their fragrance from far away. Even an unknown wild bird's flapping its wings. A string of sparkly colorful stones sits neatly on the windowsill.
My dear grandson, your friend is generous.
Grandma pointed at the courtyard wall and said, laughing. I looked over at the courtyard wall right away. I was instantly overwhelmed with crippling embarrassment. Chi Chiu's huge red head rested on the base of the courtyard wall. Its bright green eyes are blinking as it sizes up Grandma. It looked like a giant, badly hidden plush ornament. I rushed over immediately. I tried to push Chi Chiu's head down, while awkwardly explaining to Grandma. This is my distant friend from the mountains. These are his accommodation fees for staying. Chi Chiu whined dissatisfiedly, and tucked his neck in aggrievedly. Grandma put down the winnowing basket, walked to the pile of mountain goods, picked up a spiritual fruit, wiped it and took a bite.
Your friend's so generous. This fruit's so sweet.
I watched Chi Chiu slink into the woods, looking back every 3 steps, and my tension eased a little. Grandma walked over, brushed the fox fur off my shoulder.
You're back. Just stay here. Mountain neighbors have many rules, but they're easier to get along with than city folks.
A shadow in my heart. Seems to fade a lot now.
Dear grandson, have you figured it out these days?
I looked at Grandma's knowing eyes, and nodded firmly. Yes, I have figured it out. I don't have to save people on city operating tables. As long as I can hold a scalpel and save a life. I'm still a doctor even in this small forest yard. Life seems back on track. I accompany Grandma to dry herbs in the yard daily. Occasionally go to the town for daily supplies. But my yard is getting more and more lively. Today there's a basket of dewy red fruits at the door. Tomorrow 2 top-quality wild ginseng sit on the windowsill. Of course, they're gifts from the back hills furry friends. That guy Huang Ta occasionally brings his wife to visit me. 3 chubby little kids can already roll all over, rubbing my feet. They're so cute, my heart melts. My roommate who works in the obstetrics and gynecology department called me again.
Xiao Chuan, are you coming back or not? The new intern shakes like he has Parkinson's, even when suturing a simple cut. I'm so furious.
Listening to complaints on the phone, I walked to the yard, looked at the yard full of mountain goods and distant misty mountains, and smiled. I am not coming back.
Why? Do you really plan to stay in the village and live a quiet, idle life?
I have found new patients here.
Your village clinic does not even have an ECG machine, right?
I smiled mysteriously. My patients are not the same as what you imagined. After hanging up, I took a deep breath. The air smelled fresh and cool. Just then, the courtyard door got gently scratched. I'll go to open the door. A drenched little otter clutching its injured paw stared at me pitifully.
Doctor, my paw was pinched by a crab and got a cut, it hurts so bad.
Its voice is thin and soft, with a chilly aura. I looked down. Sure enough, a wisp of very faint black air was seeping around the wound. Come in. I'll clean your wound first, and rid you of this evil aura. My countryside clinic opens again today. Days passed one after another, in a wonderful rhythm. I got more and more different kinds of patients. A silly roe deer broke its leg. Chichiu knocked it out with one slap and carried it here. A little wild boar ate poisonous mushrooms by mistake and foamed at the mouth. Its grunting mother pushed it to my door. She almost collapsed my courtyard wall. There was also a depressed lark, singing sad love songs outside my window daily. It gave me a terrible headache. I prescribed it a few days of chemotherapy. It was just listening to me complain about medical disputes I faced at my old hospital. Unexpectedly, it recovered a few days later, and even tried to set me up with a partner. Another cute lark.
Look. Isn't he handsome?
Thanks, but we're different species.
No need, I'm not interested.
My medical skills are a golden reputation in this mountain word of mouth. Not only do Chiu Chiu and Huang Ta know me, my fame even spread to the neighboring mountain. One late night, a violent shake woke me up. I thought it was an earthquake, so I bolted to the yard. Good grief, a black bear as big as a small truck rested its paw on my courtyard wall, peeking inside. A monkey's following him, scratching its head and cheeks anxiously. When the monkey saw me come out, it squeaked and pointed at the bear's leg. I walked over, stressed out. As soon as the black bear opened its mouth, its stench almost knocked me out. Good grief, its teeth were almost rotted to the roots, and there's even a candy wrapper stuck between its teeth. How many kids' candies did you steal? The black bear whimpered, huddling into a ball. You need to get your teeth pulled. More than one. I'm serious. The black bear shook its huge face, showing human life. I sighed, had to turn to Chi-Chiu for help. I yelled 3 times at the old locust tree. A red shadow darted right in front of me in an instant.
Are you looking for me?
I told Chi-Chiu everything about the black bear's condition. Chi-Chiu laughed.
That greedy guy got what he deserved, right?
He was proactive. He went straight to his cave and got me the tools. 2 huge stone pliers. I stared at the pliers, thicker than my thigh, and fell deep in thought. In the end, I chose the simplest, crudest method. I asked Chi-Chiu and several foxes to hold the black bear down. I tied one end of a tough vine to the broken cliff, and the other to Chi-Chiu's big tail. Chi-Chiu.
Yeah.
Charge forward on my count. 1, 2, 3, run. A shrill scream was heard right away. A huge rotten tooth with traces of blood flew out. The black bear rolled all over the ground in pain. Chi-Chiu stumbled from the pull on his tail. I picked up that tooth. I let out a sigh of relief. The next moment, the black bear's heart-wrenching screams filled the entire back mountain, and the fox's gloating laugh. I pulled out all its rotten teeth. I used spiritual energy to clean the rot in its gums. The black bear was already slumped on the ground, looking completely hopeless. Remember, you are not allowed to steal candy ever again. The black bear's eyes welled up, and nodded weakly. Since then, the black bear's been another bodyguard of mine. He brings a jar of the freshest honey on time daily, and watches those naughty monkeys to stop them from making trouble in my clinic. My life is even more laid back than that of a retired elderly person. That lasted until an uninvited guest arrived. That day, I was applying medicine to a wild rabbit with a sprained foot. The courtyard gate was kicked open with a loud bang. A middle-aged man in a black Taoist robe stood at the door, wearing gold-rimmed glasses. He looked gentle but had a vicious air. He adjusted his glasses, and his icy eyes stared at me like a venomous snake eyeing its prey.
You are Lu Chuan.
Who are you? He didn't answer. He looked me up and down, an unpleasant smirk on his mouth.
Sure enough, your body has spiritual energy. My spy said he sensed the white eye wound domain's aura in the mountains. You seem to be the one.
Every step he took, I could feel a thick, sinister aura blowing at me.
Who I am doesn't matter. Dr. Lu, you've got special skills. I have a great use for you. You must come with me.
I'm not going. I refused, cold sweat seeping out of my palms. The man sneered. He stayed still, but the black paper talisman in his hand fluttered without wind.
You have no choice in this.
His words barely left his mouth. The licorice baskets on the mat turned black right before our eyes, then crumbled to ash and blew away. I felt my hair stand on end. This trick was beyond my knowledge. I asked sharply, "What did you do?"
I am just cleaning up some trash.
He looked at me. His eyes held undisguised greed. 2 black-suited lackeys emerged from behind him, and they looked like well-trained fighters. At first glance, I stepped back. My heart's beating so fast it'll burst through my chest. The very moment the 2 men in black were about to grab me, a yellow afterimage shot out from the corner, and bit a man's wrist. It was Huang Ta. He bared his teeth, and the man cursed, "You are asking for death." The man waved his hand. A black aura knocked Huang Ta flying. He crashed into the courtyard wall and spat. My eyes instantly turned red with anger. Huang Ta.
Looks like your friends can't protect you.
The man moved towards me step by step. Right at this moment, the ground started trembling slightly. A mountain-heavy oppressive force poured in from outside the door. The huge black bear blocked the gate, growling low. Its once gentle eyes were now fierce. Dozens of figures popped up on the courtyard wall. Chew, and a group of unfriendly foxes. They all stared at the black-robed man, baring their sharp claws. Hundreds of birds circled down from the sky. Even the little otter that just recovered climbed out of the basin. It bared its teeth and glared at the man, while he and his followers were completely stunned. His hand holding his glasses trembled, looking at the drooling black bear behind me. His face turned deathly pale. I walked forward. I sense the mountain's peaceful aura has changed, and a strong evil spirit spreading. But I am not afraid. I looked at the black-robed man, and spoke word by word. I told you before? I won't go. And my friends don't seem to welcome you either. His subordinate swallows hard, looks at the hundreds of fierce eyes around him. His calves shake uncontrollably.
Dr. Liu, let's talk this over nicely.
I laughed. This feeling is so damn satisfying. Now you want to talk nicely? I glanced at the figures protecting me, and felt reassured. I stared at the man in black, and didn't say another word. I'll never forget that black-robed man's eyes. Before he left, he adjusted his gold-rimmed glasses and gave a creepy cold smile. That look gave me goosebumps. He's definitely up to no good.
Lu Chuan, you'll come find me.
He dropped this confusing remark out of nowhere, took his 2 half-dead followers, and scurried into the deep forest ashamed. I'm staring at his back, uneasy. I have a strong hunch this isn't over yet. Grandma walked over, and patted my shoulder.
Ignore that lunatic. His reputation is bad around here. He's called Taoist Ching HSU. And he never does anything proper.
I let out 2 awkward dry laughs. After that commotion, my little yard got super. I thought I'd have a few quiet days after sending that troublemaker away, but I never expected this was just the start. Early the next morning, Huang Ta's wife came again. She's not here to repay a favor this time. She's got a round, bulging thing in her arms. She's anxious, wiping her tears nonstop.
Miracle doctor, please save my neighbor. He hurt himself badly while fooling around.
I looked down. I fell silent. It was a hedgehog curled into a ball, covered with dense thorns. But this time, its body was stuck with colorful plastic bags and broken glass shards. Did he go partying at the landfill? Huang Ta's wife choked up as she spoke.
It's greedy. It crawled into tourist's snack bag, and couldn't get out. It rolled around and got dirt stuck in its flesh. And now its wounds re-festering.
I sighed, and reluctantly took out my medical kit. After operating on Bai Yen last time, this minor debridement and thorn removal is a piece of cake for me. Though my hand still shakes when I think of Priest Ching Su's gaze. But once I channel my spiritual energy, my mind calmed. After I saved my hedgehog neighbor, my reputation blew up in the back mountain, and my home became the designated registration spot for supernatural creatures. Today, that lame black bear huffed and puffed, carrying a huge old wild ginseng, here for his dressing change. Tomorrow, that heartbroken owl that tried to kill itself by ramming a tree after a breakup will be sent here by its neighbor. The day after tomorrow's even more ridiculous. A centuries-old snake spirit ate an entire dead pig, out of greed. The pig's belly was full of undigested stones, so it choked till its eyes rolled back. Every day I wake up, a long line of creatures waits at my door. Creatures fly in the sky, run on the ground, burrow in the soil. Species are as diverse as a big animal world set. Grandma was surprised at first, then got used to it. She even built several sunshade sheds in the yard, as temporary patient waiting areas.
My good grandson, you've found your second career spring. You used to save people in the city. Now you save immortals back in the village.
Grandma sighed. As she fed millet to a broken wing, I frowned, complaining like crazy in my head. I'm a promising attending surgeon at a top public hospital. Now I'm stuck giving an enema to a snake spirit. This career switch is so wild. I even want a vet license, just when I thought my life'd stay this chaotic forever. Pai Yan and Chi Chiu came again, but this time they didn't show their true forms. The moment the courtyard gate opened, I was stunned. The man ahead wore a long white robe. His hair was casually tied back at the nape. He was more handsome than TV A-listers, especially his golden eyes, cold and imposing. That was Pai Yan. Behind him followed a burly man in a bright red tight martial arts outfit, thick eyebrows, big eyes, ripped muscles. He looked like a tough guy who could kill a cow with one punch. That was Chi Chiu. I froze on the spot, still holding the soft squirrel gastric lavage hose in my hand. You have transformed into human forms. Chi Chiu grinned, showing white teeth. Pai Yan greeted me. His every move's different from ordinary people. Dr. Liu, I put down the hose, wiped my sweat. Just call me Lu Chuan. Which idiot's making trouble again? Did you eat too much or hit your head on a tree? His face darkened immediately. The noisy yard fell silent instantly. All the small animals were too scared to make a sound. None of them are Lu Chuan. The mountain god is missing. I froze on the spot. Mountain god? Is there really a god in this mountain?
It's not just his disappearance. The mountain's spiritual vein is about to break.
He pointed in the direction of the back mountain. I looked over in that direction. The lush mountain forests now covered with a faint, uncomfortable gray aura. That aura's identical to the evil Yin aura on Taoist master Ching Su. Ever since the mountain god vanished, the evil Yin aura spreads like crazy. Many living creatures have gone mad as the spiritual vein dries up. If the spiritual vein breaks completely, all mountain creatures, including this village, will be swallowed by the evil Yin aura. My heart skipped a beat. Ching Su's weird smile popped into my head. That black-robed man did this. He's coveted the mountain god's power for ages.
We've looked everywhere, and only you've got the spiritual power to look at those evil spirits and clean them up. Divine healer, we've got to save the mountain god. Save this mountain's backbone.
I fell silent. I chickened out. I'm just someone with a scalpel. Now you want me to save the ecosystem? That's a huge jump, from surgery to geological disaster rescue. I just want to be a slacker in the village. It's nice enough to care for these fluffy animals daily, but when I turned to look at the yard's small animals, they all looked at me with full trust. A magpie with broken wings, a black bear with a missing leg, the 3 weasel cubs, spinning around my ankles. If the spiritual vein breaks, they'll die. I remembered after that medical accident. These creatures made me pick up the scalpel again, and made me feel I wasn't useless. The mountain creatures saved my heart. I have to save their lives. I sigh and walk in. I accept my fate. Fine, stop looking at me like that. Go pack your things. I went back to the inner room, and packed up the medicine kit. I put in disinfectant alcohol mixed with spiritual energy. It's my homemade demon-breaking potion. I took out the spiritual hair Aunt Chingy gave me. It was the silver needle, and pinned it to my collar. I tucked the red flame herb into my arms, and felt a warm current protecting my heart. Who cares what that Taoist priest is? My scalpel saves lives, and make him suffer a little. I slung the medicine kit over my back, stepped out of the room, and saw Pai Yan and Chi Chiu standing side by side in the courtyard. Let's go. I took a deep breath, spoke in a firm tone. Let's go save Lord Mountain God. Pai Yan looked at me. His golden eyes flashed with appreciation. As long as you're willing to go, that's the greatest hope. I hope Mountain God isn't too heavy. My small frame can't carry a god. Chi Chiu laughed, picked up the big axe on the ground,
and said, "Don't worry. I'm here."
The afterglow of the setting sun stretched our shadows very long. I looked back at Grandma. She stood at the doorway waving at me.
Good grandson, come back early for dinner. I'll stew pork ribs for you tonight.
I waved back and turned around. I followed the red and white figures, and strode toward the mist shroud. The road to the back hill's abandoned temple is bumpier than I expected. It's a desolate path hidden deep in the old forest. The grass is taller than an adult. There's nowhere to set foot. I've got a medical kit on my back. I've got to probe the path ahead with a stick every step, afraid I'll step on something I shouldn't touch. The deeper I walk into the forest, the dimmer the light gets. The sky's overcast. It looks like it'll rain soon. The air's chilly. It's damp cold that seeps into bones. I can't help shivering. The surrounding trees are oddly shaped. Their branches sway. They look like ghostly shadows, reaching out in the dark. On the way I saw several dead rabbits and mountain tits. Faint black aura wraps these small animals. Their flesh is black and rotted. That's the trace of baleful Yin energy erosion. My heart's getting heavier and heavier. The mountain's pollution is worse than I thought. After nearly 2 hours walking, the dilapidated temple finally comes into sight. This is the back hill's abandoned temple. Most of the wall has collapsed. The doors and windows rotted long ago. The shrine's covered with thick cobwebs. That clay sculpture head still lying on its side in the dirt. Half its face bare. Those empty eyes looked even creepier. Under the flashlight? So unsettling. This creepy place is silent. You can't even hear a bug chirp. The stillness is unnerving. I entered the temple, circled the collapsed statue once. At the wall base behind the statue, I found a rusty iron door hidden among weeds and rubble. The iron door's unlocked. I push it open, and it creaks. The sound echoes far across the silent temple. A stench of earth and rot hit me right in the face. It was so pungent I rolled my eyes. Behind the door was a pitch-dark secret passage, narrow enough for one person to pass sideways. I said to Pai Yan and Chi Chiu behind me, "I'm going down to check things out. You two stay up here and back me up." Chi Chiu was so anxious he kept fidgeting and scratching his head.
"Divine Doctor, it's too dangerous down there. Let me go first instead."
I waved my hand. "Look at your size. If you get stuck in the hole, I'll waste energy pulling you out. You'll just be a nuisance. Be careful. If something's off, come right away." The secret passage's stone steps were wet and slippery, covered with dark green moss. Stepping on them felt like there is a huge pond in the middle of the limestone cave. Countless sharp stalactites hang down from the top of the cave. Water drips nonstop. The pond water's jet black and shiny. Black bubbles pop nonstop, giving off a pungent stench. Evil Yin energy rises from the pond, filling the space, making my chest tight. Right in the center of the pond, a withered 1,000-year-old tree stands there. Blood-red talismans cover its trunk, swaying in the cold wind, looking creepy, and on that withered tree, a person is locked onto it. with 4 iron chains. That person has a full head of white hair that reaches his ankles. His shoulder blades are pierced through by iron chains, and his whole body is nailed to the tree trunk. He keeps his head down. His face can't be seen, but he's different from those evil spirits. He looks like a proper god who suffered a huge disaster, incompatible with the surrounding evil energy. When the chains shake, a heart-trembling wail follows. My heart skipped a beat. This is the suffering god Pai Yen and other. I mustered courage and inched forward a few steps, trying to see his wound clearly. He seemed to sense something, and he raised his head. His eyes looked gentle, but they're full of bloodshot streaks from the pain. I suddenly stepped on something hard under my foot. I looked down and saw a wooden token in the mud. I picked it up and wiped the mud. When my flashlight swept over it, I saw 2 carved characters Ching Su. My pupils shrank. My heart almost skipped a beat. That damn Taoist priest is definitely behind this. Taoist priest Ching Su. That damn priest really has been plotting a big trick here. I knew it. That look he gave me in the yard that day meant he was up to no good. Just as I was staring at the token in a daze, a creepy, chilling laugh came from behind me. I spun around, almost flinging my flashlight away.
I thought I'd catch those 2 foxes. But I didn't expect you, the little doctor, to show up first.
A figure in a black Taoist robe walked out of the darkness. It was exactly the black-robed Taoist priest I had, but now his hypocritical looks are gone. His face brims with viciousness and greed. Under the flashlight beam, he smiled eerily, creeping people out. It's you. I clenched the medicine box. My heart sank. What have you done to the Lord of the Mountain God? Taoist Ching Su narrowed his eyes, looking at the locked man on the altar, his eyes blazing with fanaticism.
I'm helping him get free. This mountain spirit vein is perpetual life energy. He's occupied it for years. It's my turn now.
You rob openly, yet you speak so righteously. How shameless you are, Taoist priest.
What do you know? I've practiced Taoism for 200 years. My lifespan's almost over, but I still can't break through. Why was he born a god, getting all this mountain's worship and endless lifespan? If heaven's unfair, I'll take what's mine. I spent 100 years of cultivation to set up this spirit-devouring array, drawing in underworld yin evil energy, to wear away his divine body and cut off his vitality. Once I drain him, I'll gain immortality. And every living thing on this mountain will obey me from now on.
A cold sweat broke out all over my back when I heard this. So you are the one behind Mr. White Eye's injuries?
HMPH, that white fox.
He flicked his fingernails casually, looking completely unconcerned.
He was unlucky to run into the spirit-melting evil spirit I gave the Eagle King. He's lucky to survive. I thought he'd die for sure. I never thought someone like you could cure him. I'm really curious. If I catch you and cut you open to study, maybe I can speed up my plan by years.
He finished speaking. He waved his hand. Pitch black mist flew from his sleeve, turned into sharp arrows mid-air, and shot towards my heart. I was terrified, and all I could think was begging for help. At the critical moment, I didn't hesitate, and pulled out the life-protecting hair amulet from my collar. Aunt Ching gave it to me. I thought. The protective hair sensed my intent. Silver light flowed. It became a thin silver thread needle. Help! I shouted with my eyes closed, and threw the silver needle out. With a silver flash, the silver thread expanded in the air, and turned into a translucent silver barrier in front of me. The black arrow hit the barrier, made harsh scraping sounds, and finally dissipated in a puff of black smoke. Master Ching Su's face darkened, and he snorted.
It's something left by that old fox again. Let's see how many times she can protect you.
I didn't have time to feel scared then. My professional instinct overpowered my fear instantly. I stared at the huge formation behind him, at the bubbling black pool and dead trees. Although I don't understand formations, I can tell the energy there's the most chaotic, just like a poorly I gripped the scalpel and the medical kit tightly. My heart's racing, but my hands don't shake at all.
Just a wisp of residual energy. You dare stop me?
Ching Su sneered, and the black chi in his hand slammed down. The silver barrier made from Ching Yi's hair emitted a harsh creak, and was about to shatter. I'm burning with anxiety. I don't have time to wait here for death. My eyes scanned the entire cave. Finally, my gaze locked on the withered 1,000-year-old giant tree, in the pool's middle. I know nothing about mystical formations. As a doctor, I can tell at a glance. It's the lesion center, and the dead tree is the formation core. As long as I cut out this malignant tumor, I can turn the tide. A wild thought exploded in my mind. I reached back and grabbed the scalpel from the kit, and the silver hair needle Aunt Ching gave me. The moment Master Ching Su shattered the barrier, I didn't step back. Instead, I hunched over and Ching Su didn't expect I, an unarmed mortal, would dare attack first. He froze for a second. In that split second, I rushed to the pool edge. I jumped onto the dead tree's old roots, sticking out of the water. Cold air seeped through my feet, making me shiver. The dark evil energy in the pool, like flies to blood, swarmed towards me. I felt like the blood in my body was about to freeze into ice chips. Luckily, the red flame grass I held gave off scorching heat, which temporarily drove away the cold, and restored my stiff limbs' strength. I didn't dare stop, and climbed the tree trunk with hands and feet. I stand before the man. Chains pierce his collarbone. When I neared, I saw the chains piercing him weren't ordinary iron chains. They were covered in dense, squirming black runes. The chains were like parasites, drawing golden divine power from his body, and pouring it into the ground through the trunk. This is the deadliest leakage point.
How dare you move?
Ching Su let out a furious roar behind me. He came to his senses, and several dark energy streams turned into sharp swords. I had no time to dodge, so I gritted my teeth, stabbed my scalpel into the joint where the chain connected to the tree trunk. My pure spiritual energy poured through the knife's tip. Break. Puff. Black air streams pierced my shoulders and back like swords. The severe pain made my vision darken repeatedly. A sweet, fishy taste welled up in my throat, but I won't let go no matter what. Right now, I'm back in the operating room that haunts my nightmares. The harsh instrument alarm rings in my ears. I couldn't save that young man that day, but I won't let go today. I roar furiously. I pull the silver hair thread from my collar. I stab it into the chain gap as a conduit. I use it as a reverse blood transfusion needle. Click. A crisp cracking sound exploded in the karst cave. The moment the chain broke, golden light burst out, lighting up the entire gloomy karst cave instantly. Once the black air touched the golden light, they dissipated immediately, with a sizzle.
No. My immortality fruit.
Ching Su screamed miserably. Half his body puffed black smoke under the golden light. Unable to turn the tide, he gritted his teeth, and gave up the immortality fruit, shifted into a blurry afterimage, darted into the karst cave's deep secret passage and vanished. The crisis is finally resolved. My taut nerve finally snapped. Exhaustion washed over me like a tide. My feet went weak. I let go of the tree trunk, and fell straight down. The expected cold pool water and hard rocks didn't hit me. I fell into a warm, firm embrace. I struggled to open my eyes a crack, and saw a stunning face. Those eyes held gentle divine radiance. It was the mountain god I saved before. He held me in his arms. His warm aura repaired all my internal damages.
Thank you, little miracle doctor.
He smiled at me. His voice sounded pleasant. I tugged the corner of my mouth, trying to act cool, and remind him to pay the consultation fee. But my eyelids were way too heavy. My vision went black, and I passed out. When I opened my eyes again, I was on my familiar wooden bed at home. Sunlight shone through window gaps, falling on the quilt. Grandma sat by the bedhead, holding a wet towel, wiping my face.
You are awake.
Grandma sighed in relief when she saw my eyes move.
You reckless boy. You've been unconscious 3 whole days and nights.
I tried to prop myself up with my arms, only to find my body aching all over.
Don't move. Lie down at once. The Chi tribe youth said you overexerted and damaged your vitality, so you need to rest.
A young man from the Chi tribe?
Yes, that young man in a white long gown. He is handsome, looks gentle and polite, and knows a lot about medicine. His name's Pai Yen. He's the white fox you saved before. Although his injuries aren't healed, he brought lots of ganoderma and herbs. You're their tribe's savior. So he insisted I give you these medicines.
I thought, Pai Yen didn't bring those herbs for no reason. He was afraid I'd die right off, and no one treat the little animals in the mountains. I'm lying against my pillow, staring blankly at the beam. What happened in the cave felt like an absurd nightmare, but the dull ache in my back reminded me it was all real. Lu Chuan, a loser who almost lost his medical license, beat that damn Taoist priest Ching Su away, and even saved a deity on the side. If I put this in my year-end report, the hospital director'll probably send me to psychiatry for a checkup first.
Oh right, a few days ago, golden light shone from the back mountain's rundown temple. All villagers said the mountain god returned. That mountain god temple is now popular with worshippers. Even lots of people are kowtowing at my door now.
I smiled, replied casually, said nothing more. I stayed in bed a week, drank countless bowls of bitter herbal soup, and finally could walk around. Lately, my small yard turned into a hub for consolation. Huang Ta comes here every day. He always brings a jar of honey, says it nourishes my blood and boosts my energy. Chi Chiu sent a pile of shiny colorful stones. He insisted they'll beautify my skin, and asked me to put them under my pillow. I looked at those beauty stones that'd give me a stiff neck, and thought Fox's aesthetics are different from ordinary people's. The most ridiculous one's the snake spirit. I cured of indigestion. He was awkward when he gave me a semi-transparent snake skin.
Oh Dr. Lu, this the skin I just shed. I can make it into inner armor for you. It's invulnerable to swords and guns, and keeps you cool in summer.
I looked at that cold, sticky skin. My mouth twitched. I thought, I'll never try such weird fashion. I accepted these weird thank you gifts, feeling amused yet helpless. The small woods yard is lively daily. Not only dried herbs hang in the yard, but also little foxes and weasels run everywhere. I'm basking in the sun on the lounge chair in the yard, holding red flame grass for warmth. A long-awaited call came in. It was my old hospital buddy, the chatty OB.
Xiao Chuan, you're famous now. The whole incident's cleared up. You're not responsible.
Do you know how loud he yelled? My ears hurt so bad I almost threw my phone away. What plot twist? I'm busy with the squirrels right now.
Cut the crap about that bonding stuff. That surgery accident you were in before has been investigated. That patient's family is wicked. For insurance fraud, they secretly fed the patient banned foreign drugs. Before surgery, the coroner did a new appraisal. The patient died of heart failure from drug interaction. Nothing to do with your surgery. All those who insulted you online have changed their tune now. The hospital's official social media account is flooded with apologies. The department head nags me every day, asking when you'll return to the city. He also said he'll give you a bonus. Your position's still reserved.
I froze while holding my phone. The truth is out. I'm not a murderer. I didn't kill that patient. That nightmare weighing on my heart for so long is finally gone. I let out a long sigh of relief. I looked at the free-range chickens wandering all over the yard. The chickens are hopping around. I twist the ring on my finger unconsciously. A sparrow perches on the half bracelet on my wrist. I finally made it. The knot that had been stuck in my heart for ages is finally untied. The magpie perches on the old locust tree, singing a cheerful folk song. No disinfectant smell here, just grass and tree fragrance. I suddenly feel that the office full of surveillance cameras, disinfectant smell and endless disputes is extremely far away from me. I grab my phone and type a few words to reply. The other side was silent for ages, and finally only replied one word: okay. I put away my phone and stretch. The comfort seeps into my bones. Just then, heavy panting comes from the courtyard gate. I look up and smile. It's a chubby, lovely giant panda, sitting at the door holding its belly and moaning. When he sees me coming out, he points to his bulging belly with teary eyes. Obviously he ate too much.
Doctor, I overate again. It hurts.
I get up and grab the stethoscope beside me. A wisp of breeze transformed from the suffering god circles the yard, bringing coolness. I stare at his chubby belly and laugh. Okay, I will rub your belly first to help you digest. The next patient is already on the way.